Welcome back, everybody. It's Rama from Junk Journal Divas. Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be making some of these tea bag tags for an ocean journal that I'm working on. So it's all beach theme ephemera. So let's get started here. First, I'm just going to open up my tea bags that I dried. So when you tea dye your papers, make sure you save your tea bags. So I'm starting off here. I have these little pieces of ephemera, my little ocean creatures, and I'm just putting them onto some craft cardstock because I want these to be nice and thick. So I'm just going to cut these out, and then we will start covering them with our tea bags. So for this part, I am using matte gel medium. You can use, if you wanted to use Mod Podge or even just a school glue and maybe add a little tiny bit of water, like you would the consistency for a decoupage. I like the matte medium because it has that matte finish to it. So here I have this piece of, it's like a brown tissue paper, and I got this and I wanted to try it. I will tell you, I love this stuff. It is like a tea bag, except it's a large piece of tissue paper. So that's great for larger things that you kind of want to give that vintage look to. Basically putting a layer of the matte gel medium between all of the layers. So I put some of the medium down, then my photo, then some more of the medium, and now I'm putting the top down, and then I'll go over the top of it again with the matte medium. When you're doing this part, you don't have to be so perfect. Because when you have ripples and things in the tissue paper, that's actually good for the part when we add some color. But it is good to kind of flatten out where you have faces and things where you want to see the image. Hello, my friends, and I am back after a very long hiatus. This is of ephemera for an ocean journal that I'm going to be working on. And I just backed these with some cardstock and put some tea bag or tissue paper over top of them. So they're all sea creatures. We've got a whale, a crooked tooth whale. So I've got all of these sea creatures here, smaller ones here. And these are what I'm going to work on first. I am going to kind of do what I did with my tea bag tags because I loved that so much. Just to show you those, these are the tea bag tags, and I put dangles on them, decorated them. So some of them I put the long string on as though it would be a tea bag, and other ones I put a grommet in, and I just put some fuzzy yarn and a dangle. So this is what I want to do, except with my sea creatures. I am going to start off with these. I am going to add a little bit of color with my distressed crayons, or you could use some gold paint or some metallic markers or whatever it is that you have if you want to do this and just add a little bit of shine. So I have a couple of blues here. I just want to do a little sample. Okay, so that's like a regular blue. It's more like a green. Okay, let's check out some more here. I like that color of blue better. And that's pretty dark, but it doesn't look like it here, huh? So I am just going to, you know, where the wrinkles and things are on here, it kind of shows up, it's kind of fun. I'm just going to go around the edges a little bit. And what I did the last time, I just put a little bit of water in there, and all I'm doing is like dipping my finger in just to get my finger wet, and then just smear. So you can see how it goes in the background there. And you don't even really need your finger to be wet, so that's why I'm just going in with my finger here. Maybe slightly damp. Then I'm just gonna do this same thing with all the rest of them. And by the way, guys, once the color is on there for a little bit, it will not smudge, so it is semi-permanent. So I'm just doing voiceover here to show a little bit of this process, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just putting a little bit of color on, smudging it around with my finger, and if I want to add a little bit of water to get more movement, I just dip my finger into my little cup of water. You could also, on the back, you could add a stencil or something like that. So I'm just showing here how I fold them up. And now you could put a little bit of yarn and just staple it on. I've done that before. That's very easy to do. I am going to end up putting grommets in these. I just ordered a bunch of grommets and I have a lot of them, so that's why I'm going to use grommets. So I fold all of these up. If you do want to ink around the edges, you can ink around the edges with different colors, would be fun too. So now I'm just going to put my grommets in and set those. And now I'm moving on to my boho beach ladies. And since these already have some color on them, I'm just using a little bit of gold, and that's all I used around them. And now the fun part, I'm going through all of my gorgeous boho fabrics and picking out some things that I can use pieces of. I'm going to put grommets in these also. Now, if you don't have grommets, it's okay, because by the time you put all the fuzzy yarn and things in, you really don't even see them. And also, by the way, I do have some fuzzy yarn in my Etsy shop if you need some little pieces of that. So you can check that out. My Etsy shop is always in my video description, the link for that. So now I'm just going to play around with my trim pieces. And okay, the hardest part, guys, I will say, is I've got these beautiful pieces of trim and I cut them up into little pieces, which I'm going to show you. And that is probably the hardest thing to get over, because they're so pretty, but I do cut them up. And I'm not even talking about the fabric pieces that I'm showing here. It's coming up, and I will show you the pieces that I'm talking about, because it is really hard to do, and it took me a while to be okay doing it. So here you can see, this is an example of this beautiful piece of trim. It's quite wide. It's maybe 4 inches or so. And I'm cutting it up because I've had this for a while, and unless I use that for a pocket, I can't really use a piece that's that big. Now, the other thing is the little flap of fabric that comes over on the trim. You've got to cut that off so that you're not just gluing the flap down, and you actually, get to the back of your piece. So I'm just adding my trim pieces at the bottom here. And then I also cut up some little pieces of embellishments. Now here's another piece of trim that I am completely cutting apart here. All the little flowers and the leaves. I am just using one tiny little flower on these to embellish them a little bit more. And also, I'm just using my art glitter, the brand of glue, and it works. It's my go-to glue, and it pretty much works on everything, unless I'm using a heavier, say like a jewel or gems or things like that. I will then use some E6000. But for these and these tiny little pieces, the art glitter brand works beautifully. So now I am moving on to making these guys. I'm going to show you. This you can probably see at the top. I just used a piece of lace and I threaded some fuzzy yarn through it just to add a little bit more color. And I'm just adding these little flowers. And for the center, I am also using a little circle that is from another piece of trim that I cut up. Okay guys, I'm back. I wanted to do a little recap of what I've done here so far. So let's start with the tea bag tag, since that's what I started with in the video. So here are some of those to show you. I just love these. I think they make such cute little additions to whatever journal you're doing. Some more. You can see all the tiny little pieces that I use of these beautiful trims. I'm starting to make some ephemera with some book pages. So this is a piece of book page. And this stuff I love. I made this, let's see. I did this last year when I was doing my ocean journals. And I don't know if you can kind of see here. All it is I braided some different ribbon and threads and things, and then I went down the middle of it with my sewing machine. So it's just like a really messy braid, and I just love it. So that's all I put on here. And then I made this little floating pocket thing with a paper clip. This is the piece of the book page that was describing this photo. And then I put these two inside my pocket. So this is just super cute, right? Okay, so those are the smaller ones, the tea bag tags. And then these, you can see I just put the ribbon and I kind of threaded some fuzzy fibers through it. And then I put the flower, and the middle part is a part of trim that I cut and put that in the center. So these are super cute. I like the way these turned out. Some that are going vertical. So those are my sea creatures. And then I did my sort of boho looking beach girls. And I love these. So these are a little bigger with the same kind of idea as the tea bag tag. The backs of these, and I just left the edges messy. I kind of like them like that. So you can see the crayon that I added on there. Oh, and here's that mirror that I put on the flowers. So just some fun stuff that I can use in my journals and share with some of my friends. We are going to a retreat the first week, the entire week, the first week of June, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be in California, so it's going to be a really great girls trip. So have these little ones. These are more, I did not cover these with, this one's backwards, let's see. I did not cover these with the tea bags yet. So you can see I have a lot. I did back them, so they're pretty thick. Now these are some that I did. Some of these I think are the same photos as my boho ladies. So I covered these with the tea bags. They are backed, so they're nice and thick. And I'm thinking maybe I want to make a couple pockets for these to go down into. So I'm going to put these aside for now. Let's take a look at our finished results from the things that we did today. I wanted to show some close-up photos. So this is what we did today, and next I am going to be working on those tea bag pockets to put my little pieces of ephemera in. So as always, thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you see when I have new content come out. And if you decide to try this, please leave me a comment, and thanks for watching.